Hey guys, Jake here. We're at Pear Tree Ranch and we're continuing with Remmy. We're going to update you on our last week's progress. So last video we talked about how I'd been gone, horse had been here, left untouched, and we got to look at what did that first session back look like and how did she come out of that time off and without being touched for numerous weeks. And I personally thought she did a great job and was very happy with her ability to just come in and get to work and at least do that bare minimum. Now, I mentioned in that video, a priority for me is getting her feet better at handling. You know, in working with Devin and talking with her, she's like, oh, I'd like to get back to having the farrier done. Well, in our experience, there's no way anybody ever was able to trim this horse's feet. Now, I've said this and talked about this with Devin, so I'm not calling her a liar, and I told that to her. I said, listen, if I were to tell you, I'd say there ain't no way in heck you guys have ever trimmed this horse's feet as bad as she's been for it. But I do know this horse, and that with consistency with one person, she gets progress, okay? And so with Devin, she maybe wasn't able to ride her and do a lot of groundwork, but she sure was able to brush her a lot, handle her a lot, and make friends with her, rubbing her feet, and she said she even used to wrap her legs and do things. So the horse and her kind of had a bond going where they were able to then get that job done. That's where I've said I need to spend the time on that versus we've been teaching her ground manners, we've been teaching her to get saddled and rideable and better at catching, all these kinds of things. So we've had a large amount of things to work on. And now it's really important to me to get these feet better to handle. That's what I've mostly focused on in the last week, as well as I've gone back to the lay down as a way to help continue to get her in the mood. And then we've done the lip squeeze. We have posted a video on that. You've seen me do it with this horse in the past. And we just spent, this is Monday, we just spent Thursday and Friday with Devin here and me coaching her. So I have some footage to roll in throughout the video of Devin handling the horse. And the big thing that we focused on was her holding her while I handled the feet, like a farrier visit, and then also having her catch halter, come in, do a little groundwork, but work on could she lay the horse down confidently by herself and how could that go. So we'll share that as we go through the video. I've been tying her here and working on the feet. Because of how that was going, she was wanting to kick and fuss and fight, I went to the lay down to kind of get her in the mood of turn loose and feel relaxed, and then handling her feet after. So what we're going to start with is the lie down. I'm going to lay her down as many times as needed to kind of get her deep breath. And we've done it a few ways. When we showed teaching her that, we did it with the bareback pad and tying up the foot. I don't want to have to keep doing that, and it should be getting better and progressive where we don't need that, and it has. What I've been doing for me is, let's get you turned where people can see you. Good girl. Is I've been taking the lead rope. Nobody asked you to back up. And rubbing her leg here. Nobody asked you to back up. Nobody asked you to back up. Good girl. She's allowed to retreat as many times as she needs. I'm allowed to invite her back up until she learns to stay. Okay, so taking this, and just one isn't enough to be able to effectively hold the foot. I know, well, I didn't ask you back there. I'll just lead you back up here by your foot. Good girl, nose, neck. Here comes the shoulder. She's being thoughtful about holding it up for me. I want her to feel what I'm doing. I'm leading that foot back over here towards me. There's a start, but it's a little bit of a pull away. There's nose, neck. She's being good. There's that toe coming down. Good girl. Okay. I'm wrapping 2 times around this, just around the bottom there, so that I can pick that foot up, hold here, and hold down at the withers. This has the potential, good girl. This has the potential to be harder for everybody because I have to potentially be physically strong to hold it up there if she tries to pull that foot down and away, and harder on her because she might think she can pull it away from me, and maybe she should go down that road of being resistant versus turning loose. That led me to kind of go back to put the 22-foot line on, but not tie the foot, just hold it over her back where I don't have to be as strong. You should be able to see my fingers here is just holding and kind of creating a block there where it's holding that foot up. Okay. I got to be mindful. She might get startled and want to jump up. I don't have anything holding her down, so I've just got to wait for her to relax herself down and over. Okay? And I want her to be able to make the choice. So I would just go again. That's the where I was saying we're kind of, this is the getting her in the mood, not telling her do what you're told. You just move your poop. Lay you down in that poop wouldn't be very thoughtful. Now I'm going to hold here and say, hey, you just relax. There's a good girl. Now, I lose a lot of lead rope here, so it's harder for me to have the length to kind of walk around and then help invite her down. I'm going to just try to stand here and rub her to just help her settle. And then maybe she lets me kind of come around here. See, I got not a lot of rope there. So this is just to her foot, so I can't pull on her face from here. That's one of the downfalls of using that. I'm putting myself at a disadvantage to do control over her. But at this stage of the game, we're not trying as much to teach her we can control her. We've taught her that. Now we're trying to balance the confidence and the yielding. So I might invite her here, there. She felt me. I just close my hand on her neck this way, not this way. To just invite her to come down and kind of get out flat. Now remember, it's Monday, so she just had the last 2 days off, so you're getting to see her fresh off the weekend. Now this has a little up feel on the foot to kind of hold it and a little down feel over the withers, but it's not on her face. She could just kind of pull and hop up. So this is a little bit of the illusion that I have her. Girl, good girl. Again, I'm just inviting her to get relaxed. That's the warm-up to then go handle her feet. The way her hind legs are tucked, she's not quite got this pushed. I'm just trying to peek at that, make sure that she could find her way out relaxed. There. There comes the hind leg. Now I can see the foot there, and that's what lets me know she kind of got relaxed. And again, I'm using all these things as a measuring stick to read where is she at, and then ways that I can encourage her to yield to me, be confident in and with me, trust me. And now that we've gotten to this point, it's like, okay, cool. That's her starting to turn loose. We've got her in the mood for the rest of the session. Now, I'll roll in some footage of Devin learning to handle the feet, handle the rope, have her go down, lay out relaxed, and juggle all the different tools and the ability to do it. On Thursday, I was in the pen, held her hand, and was right there with her. On Friday, I sat outside, and you'll see in that clip, you'll see the rails. I'm outside the round pen. She was in here all by herself with the horse and was able to lay her down and hang out with her like this. And they just hung out. And I encouraged her to just, rub that horse's face, rub her neck, be with her, bond. Bond in this vulnerable position for the horse. And that helped build Devin's confidence in her ability to do these things. So she could start using that as a warm-up, just like the bare minimum groundwork is a way to do some warm-up. Well, this horse isn't just the bare minimum. Okay? This is a very difficult horse. And so to help handle that different level of difficulty, well, we can use some different techniques, tools, and ideas. Now, I could stay down here for a nice long time till this horse, she's kind of as she's laying here and starting to let these things go. The longer we would stay, the more relaxed through her whole body she's going to get. For the sake of the video, I'm going to get where I'm going to invite her to get up, and then we'll move on to the next piece, which will be working on handling her feet. We'll talk about the ways that we worked on that. This is just one of them. Yeah, you saw me have to handle her feet to pick it up, put the rope around it. But that left front foot usually is the best foot for most horses. The worst foot is the right hind foot because it gets handled the least. It's on the off side and the back. Okay? We just did this for quite a few days in a row last week to just get this back working easier and easier. And it never was working hard when I came back to it the first time. It was as good or better than when I had done it the last time, before we kind of felt like we didn't need to do this as part of our everyday. Okay. So I'll use that kiss, kiss, kiss that we've used to mean come here. We're just going to wait. It's kind of on her foot there for her to kind of find a spot to either step out of it, which she's almost done, or find a settle where I can rub her, take the rope, and get it off of there. Okay? Now, I don't love that I had to kind of go and get her while she's backing. That's something I've talked about a lot. I don't want to chase her. But we got to keep a balance, too, of every time she moves her foot and pulls that rope, it pulls on her face and encourages it. So it's a little bit of a hard spot. We just do our best. So now I'm going to encourage her to come up here. I need her to be short enough that it makes it hard for her to do a lot of dancing around, but I don't want it so short that she can't find some comfort and get relaxed. In time, obviously, should be obvious, I would want to be able to just stand out in the middle and have her stood still with the rope on the ground, and we'll build up to that. But because she's learned so much about kind of fighting and fussing and messing around, this kind of, if she moves, she can move, but she'll run herself into pressure and then find comfort when she puts that lead holding her back to slack. Okay, so things that we've done. Put the rope around there and just rub it all around. Same where you guys can see. And be able to swing that rope around her legs and have it touch her and have her learn to read that this isn't necessarily about her. She can kind of maintain what she's doing and just stand still. Now, with that only half around her foot, that can help her feel less trapped versus if I put this all the way around her foot. Like, see there, it can go back to rubbing very easily. If I were to fasten this here and let that go down hard around her foot, it can make her feel more trapped. Early on, we had to do that because she'd kick and fuss. You need to keep the contact. But now that she's giving us a chance here, I've moved back to this to where she can continue to feel more release when she's soft, and just do little projects of, can you give me that foot? Have it be jiggly soft, okay? To where there, I could just set it down there, okay? Now, to help her get her feet done, we have at times just done it wrapped and tied the foot up, where I can be in here, rub her, get close to her, bump her with my body, and touch her to where if she does want to freak out, she can't just take the foot away. But you have to read the horse still. You can't force yourself on them, which you could do easier if you tie that foot up. So where's the balance of, don't let them learn that they can pull away, but don't force yourself on them. So that way when it's held, I can see her choose to be soft and allow me in here to rub and work close. Okay? I brought out a rasp today. I just trimmed the front feet with Devin on Friday, and the back feet. We got the rasp on, which was a big deal. Okay. Oh, guess you should have softly picked up that foot. There. So she can not make it pop up her pastern by being softer with it. Now make sure you guys can see good. I'm going to take this, and instead of picking it out, I can just tap on that foot. And that'll knock all that dirt out. And that can also prep her to be able to handle different sensations. Okay? Now I'm going to take the rope off because she's been good with the front feet. I'm going to put this, like a farrier would, between my legs. When I do this, I am trying to rub her here and rub on her belly. And I do what you call a figure 4, where I can hook this behind my knee. Okay? And hold that up here. That keeps me from wearing my back out, being super leaned over. Okay. And then I have some strength there and coordination from my background doing some wrestling and such when I was in high school. Okay, so it's nice to be able to just come in here. I heard it. I see it. I know. So there was a big old horsefly, and she held still, let me snatch at that, even though it was on her hind leg, and get that thing to go away. Again, that's pretty cool for her to read me and give me the chance to help her with that fly. Okay, so that's some of what we've done with the front feet. I was able to do the nippers and the rasp on there. Let's see here. I'm gonna tuck this here. What we're gonna do with these back feet is get that rope around both. And you can see she's kind of learned through the work we did with the rasp. Okay, if you haven't seen all the sessions with Remmy, there's a whole session I showed where I taught her to bring her butt back and stay straight out here in the middle. So she's kind of learned, you see, as soon as that rope went there, she slid to get back in the middle. Okay, so I want to be able to rub her here, throw the rope up and over her hip so she gets used to this extra motion and me touching her where it's not able to be the softest and quietest and still read the situation. That doesn't mean she needed to move or be bothered. Okay, there she's licking and chewing. So then could I start leading a foot? So she stepped out of with the 1 foot, no big deal. Could I start leading her by a foot to come over here? Good girl. Now, on Friday when we went to trim her feet, this is part of what I'd been doing. I had to put this around there where it was stuck, okay? And she kicked and kicked so hard, I just took the rope over here to a post and half wrapped it so she could kick and pull on that post till she learned to relax that leg. She tried so hard to not pick up her hind legs, she would tuck them and sit on her butt, on hiding that leg, okay, like a dog sitting onto their hip. Okay, she pulled that hard. To combat that and to be able to hold her as strong as she's pulling, not pull her, just hold her, I use the fence with this longer rope to kind of hold that. I could have used a saddle horse, okay, but that gets to be hard on that horse. So to keep this just me and her, I just stayed in here and did that. She tried pulling back. She tried kicking. She tried sitting down. She tried flopping herself on the ground, okay? And it eventually built up to where now she's kind of letting me lead those legs around and have a feel of that there. And like I talked about, you put yourself at a little bit of a dangerous spot that they could get to kicking and you lose the leg. That's how they learn to kick and fuss. Okay? But we've gotten the opportunity to go back to this way of doing it where I can then rub with it and there can be a more open space for her to feel better about this. Okay? All right. Now let's look at another way that I kind of needed to help her because she wanted to kick and pull so hard. We use the fence as one way. Another way is you can put this again as a loop and put it up and over and around and back to the foot where then they're pulling on their own chest. And that's was just a little trick where, let's just go ahead and I'll show you that. Again, this is a trainer thing, not a you do at home thing. This was to help that foot stay in a position where I could work approach and retreat and have her give me a shot versus she learned so much about fighting and pulling. That I could then kind of bring that leg forward, or she could give me a shot to stand where she's more comfortable with me here, keep that foot from where I can be in trouble, and start to rub it and touch it in close. She'd let you do it with the stick. She'd let you do all that. But when you get to this point where now you can actually hold it, she'd say, no, no, no. Okay. So this was one way that we helped build that up. And again, just to get her in the mood where she could realize, I'm not doing anything to you, and I'm not going to force that. I'm going to read you till you go, okay, I'll let you be progressive and rub a little more. Again, pretty more advanced techniques that need to be able to apply when the horse kind of calls for it. So now, this kind of helped get her in the mood that I could come down here and maybe have a shot at holding this. I'm going to not go here. I'm going to hook it like that. Okay. These hind feet, I just ran the rasp over. I didn't nip her at all. I don't quite trust her enough to want to get all the way under her and do that. Because just on Friday was the first time we did the rasp on the feet, and I did that with Devin here, so she could kind of participate and be a part of that and see, you know, what are we experiencing, and then I could listen and hear from her how things were going in the past and start putting everything together. Okay, super. So that's great progress on our ability to prepare her to handle her feet, have her feel good about it, not forced, to where she could be a part of the deal and warmed up. And then I would just repeat that on the other side. Okay, I'm super happy. Hopefully you're getting to continue to see the progress with this horse. And we got to roll in the footage of Devin doing the lay down, which we used to help get her in the mood and prepared for really turning loose, to where we could then come back to handling the feet and working on that. Oh yeah, and by the way, we're standing over on this right side, right? It's not about her vision, it's just been an exposure thing where she just hasn't experienced this enough. That got to be real easy for us today on that side. Okay, go get her a bath. It was nice for her and Devin to be able to hang out, spend time together. Devin could bathe her, hand graze her, hang out with her twice last week, and we'll get to hopefully have her back soon, and we'll continue to bring you progress on not just me and Remy, but Devin as well. Okay, I'm very excited. All right, Jake and Remy from Pear Tree Ranch, and we'll see you next time.